Hello, everyone. This is Ed Carbajal with Spectation Sports, and I have the pleasure of speaking once again with Zack Hicks. Zack, it looks like you're a PFL bound once again.
Yes, sir. Excited about it. And thanks for having me, Ed. Appreciate it.
No problem. I'm excited for the news because I know you did the Challenger Series and it didn't go your way, but the PFL's coming to Nashville, so that's kind of
Yeah.
like Zack Hicks territory. I guess they knew when they
Yeah.
come to town they could, and then they had you in the Rolodex. They couldn't leave you out. Is that kind of how the booking came to be?
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly. I was hoping I would get like a short notice call because I was like, oh, PFL's coming to Nashville. I'm coming off, I did lose on the Challenger Series, bounced back with a win after that a few months later or 6 months later or so. And I was like, okay, I lost momentum with that, but I'm building back up there in my hometown. So,
Yeah.
maybe I'll get that call up, and I did. So here we are.
Yeah, I mean, you picked up a win after the Challenger Series thing, and now they got you facing Cody Lowe on August 2nd. I mean, he was kind of like a
Mhm.
Bellator staple fighter, so I'm curious
Yeah.
as to like what do you know about him? I is there confidence going into it just because I mean it seems like you're fighting at home, hometown advantage type of deal, or how do you feel about the matchup?
I feel good about it. I mean, I'm confident I can hang in with any 45er. Uh, if I'm focused, if I believe in myself, I think I can hang with anyone. I know he's a good wrestler, national
Hmm.
champ, D2. I'm a good wrestler though too. I know he has good striking. I mean, he's good everywhere, but so am I. So we'll just see how it plays out. Yeah, I know he's a Bellator guy. Had all 10 of his fights. I think he had 10, something like. I think he's like 8-2
Hmm.
uh, with Bellator, and he had a couple losses back to back, 1-2 back to back. So momentum wise, we're similar right now. His first fight with PFL, but since the merger, they probably just picked him up too. I think it's a little bit short notice for him. Like I've known for about 6 weeks, I'm gonna fight for PFL, and I think I think it's kind of shorter for him, but I'm sure he's staying in shape. He's a full-time fighter, so he's probably in the gym ready to go. Probably just waiting for a short call, kind of like how I was. Uh, so yeah, feel good about it.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the guys that I talk to, especially that are kind of like on the doorstep, the way that you are for these for a big promotion. I mean, obviously you're fighting on the card again, you're fighting with them
Mhm.
again rather. Um, but what's your preferred like? You have a preferred timetable when you get like for a fight camp? What's your preferred like window for fight camp?
I used to be like 8 weeks, like 7, 8 weeks, but now 6 weeks is fine as long as I'm in the gym, which I'm in the gym pretty much all the time.
Hmm.
I just like turn up my training the last 6 weeks. Now that I'm older, I'm 35. Like I don't want to be getting, I don't want to be getting injured, and
Hmm.
so these short camps kind of help me. Uh, 6 weeks is fine, and that's what I had. Maybe a little more, 6 weeks. But now I got an opponent with like 3 weeks notice, so now I'm just focusing more in on game plan stuff. So short is better for me now.
I was gonna say it just seems like that seems to be the case for a lot of guys too. Like just staying ready, and I mean, I would hope that they do something for you financially when you do take a short notice fights. I'm not sure how the PFL operate. I know the UFC does it, but I'm not sure how the
Mhm.
PFL doing their booking. But like seeing as how you were on Challenger Series and Cody Law was like a Bellator guy, they've had this like Bellator PFL versus PFL theme going. So it's like it's almost like
Yeah,
this matchup. I know it's not one of those playoff matchups, but the
yeah,
fact that you're on a playoff card, kind of like first of all, it looks like a Bellator versus PFL matchup, and
hmm
secondly, I mean the fact that you're on this card on a playoff card. Does this open the door for you for the 2025 season with them?
I hope so. Yeah, I signed. I didn't just sign a one fight deal. I
Mm.
don't know if I can get on details with it, but I hope to be back multiple times. That's the goal.
Yeah, I mean,
But
and
yeah, I
hopefully,
want to win. Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
want to win
No,
impressively, and then have them definitely bring me back. If I beat one of the Bellator staples, like you're saying, like I think I'll be back for sure.
And I was gonna say, hopefully they throw you into the season, because then you're in that lineup for you get when you fall into that bracket for the $1 million. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? That's always
that'd be
kind of
great.
motivating. Yeah,
Yeah, I would
yeah.
love that. And I feel like I can be in there with those guys. I think, to be honest, either one of us wins, and I think we should be in that tournament. But we'll
Mm,
see. We'll see how it goes. I'm just gonna take this one fight at a time, focus on the fight in front of me, and
yeah.
just give it my all.
So speaking about the fight in front of you, I mean, how do you? The first thing I noticed was because of where it is and where you fight out of. I'm like, I mean, how do you reel yourself in for with? I don't want to say overconfidence or hometown advantage or anything like that. I mean, obviously you're gonna have a lot of fans kind of amping you up that night. So
Mhm.
how do you keep yourself, like you said, eye on the prize, on the fight in front of you? How do you keep yourself from feeling a little too, like, like aggro towards
Yeah.
for the head of the fight?
Uh, just like mainly hanging out with my wife, my son, like, chilling out. When I'm in the gym, I'm focused. I've fought at home a bunch, like
Hmm.
a lot of these Aries cards. I like fighting. I feel better. Probably most people. I don't know if most people feel better fighting at home because it is a lot of pressure.
Hmm.
But I feel better with the fans, and people there supporting me. It's just that little extra motivation. But, at the end of the day, it's just another fight. Like, it doesn't matter where we fight. Once that door closes, I'm not thinking about who's there, who's in the outside. I'm just focused on my opponent in front of me and the job I have to do. So, it's nice fighting at home. I'm getting a little extra
Hmm.
publicity, being the hometown guy. Uh, but yeah, at the end of the day, I'm just focused on the fight in front of me and getting the job done.
And we're a couple of weeks out. I mean, it's August 2nd,
Hmm.
we're like halfway there already. So when do you start kind of like focusing on like not so much the weight cut, but preparedness for somebody like Cody Law? I don't know. I forget if you told me if you're somebody that's into watching tape or anything like that. It looks like you already have a lot of knowledge on them.
Hmm. I watched a little bit of tape. I used to watch a lot of tape on everyone, and I would
Hmm.
rewatch fights of my opponent over and over and over. I feel like that's not beneficial to me. I let my coaches watch it. We'll sit down, like we watched one of his fights together, and we sat there and broke down his most recent fight, what he's good at, what he looks for, where he's comfortable. But I try not to, I did that with my coach. I watched some small clips on my own, but I don't want to be too focused on him. I know what he's good at. I
Hmm.
know what he's mainly going to want to do. I can have a I have an idea of how I think he'll try to fight me. Uh, I don't want to like say specifically what that is.
Yeah.
Uh, but at the end of the day, like it's just another fight. This will be my 15th fight. I don't
Hmm.
feel like I need to watch all that footage. I need to know strengths, weaknesses, areas I can expose, and that's all I focus on now.
Yeah, when there's a seems to be a popular way of thinking, and it goes it's kind of old school, but it seems to be returning. And I remember Wanderlei Silva said it back in when he fought in Pride, like I don't watch tape and study my opponents because I'm worried about my own evolution as a
Hmm.
fighter and my own growth. And that seems to be something that I'm hearing a lot again. And it
Yeah,
sounds like what you're saying, like because you can come up with a game plan and then it's the wrong game plan and then everything goes to
yeah,
hell.
100%. And I've fought guys where I'm like, okay, this is how he comes out, and
Hmm.
then they came out completely different against me and did something completely different. And if that's in your head, like, oh, this is weird, like he's not fighting how I expect, that can mess with you
Hmm.
mentally. So every fight's different. I think it's smart to pick up on tendencies, what they're good at, where they're lacking, uh, but not to get too hung up on it and focus on yourself. Because if you focus on yourself, you're gonna go out there and kind of let things fly more.
Hmm. And my last question, I mean, obviously, a lot of the folks have watched your fights on Spectation Sports. They've seen you fight. They know what to expect. But this is going to be on ESPN now. A lot of new people are going to learn who Zack Hicks is. So I'm not going to ask for a prediction because we
Yeah,
kind of already talked about it. But
yeah.
so what should new fans expect to see from Zack Hicks on August 2nd?
Uh, just I mean, yeah. If you haven't seen me fight before, forward pressure, smart pressure, not just walking guys down, walking into things. Cardio, relentlessness. I'm just gonna be coming forward the whole time, looking for that finish, looking for that win. Any way it's given to me. I don't have a like I'm gonna take him down, do this, I'm gonna knock him out. Like I'm just gonna fight my fight, bring it to him. For in if it ends in the first round, ends in the first round. If it has to go all five, not title fight, all
Yeah.
three, I'm down to go all three. I've been there many times.
Well, most guys train for 5 these days, right? Like no, there's
Yeah,
nobody. Yeah,
sometimes I
yeah.
accidentally do. Like it just happens that way. I'm just doing 5 rounds back to back.
That's good though, because I mean, at the end, I mean, it is a sport too. I know it's fighting, but there's a sport aspect to it, and you got to keep it fun. So
Mhm.
if you're forgetting that you're doing 5 rounds and you're still feeling good about yourself, I mean that means you're having fun doing it.
Yeah, and
Uh,
if my training partners need more rounds, like, hey, can you go another? Like they'll fight. I'll be like, yeah, I'm not gonna back down. It's almost like a challenge. Like, yeah, you need another round, I got you.
yeah, man. Well, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing this. I mean, this is our third time talking. I mean, first time doing a video where we've talked on the phone a few times
Yeah,
for other pieces I've written on you. So I love seeing the guys coming up and making a name for themselves. And when I again the fact that they're coming to Nashville for me, I was like, oh my god, he must be going nuts. Like you must have gone nuts when you got the call. Just
yeah,
they're
I
not
was super
not only
pumped.
are they calling you, but they're coming to your hometown.
Yeah, yeah. It's seriously like when I saw it, I was like, I just had this feeling like, you know what, maybe. And I had some random people message me and reach out to me trying to fight me on the Nashville card before I was on it or before I knew anything about it. I guess they saw like, oh, he's from Nashville. Oh, he's fought for the PFL. I'm gonna use him to get on this card.
That
So like it was a bunch of coincidences, and then my manager texted me. He's like, "Hey, you want on the Nashville card?" And I was like, 100%. Of course I
yeah,
do. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it's like asking, you mind going out and picking up the paper? Like, you
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah,
I didn't,
that's
I didn't, I
great.
didn't, I didn't second guess it for a second.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I love to see it, man. I'm really looking forward to it. I wish that was the one. I may go to the other one the week after in Hollywood, Florida, but I wish I was going to
Oh,
this one.
nice.
But
Yeah, I wish you were too, man. That'd
yeah,
be
yeah.
awesome.
And I do forts on that other one, so that's the one
Yeah,
I'm going to. But I knew about him before I knew about you.
yeah,
Again, I
yeah.
just
No,
got
that
the
makes
I
sense.
think they made it official only a few days ago. So
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it's
yeah,
been, it's been. Uh, yeah, he was in the tournament, so it's a little easier to predict
yeah,
those.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. So, all right, Zach. Well, before I let you go, if you want to shout out any sponsors, give anybody to plug before I let you go, the floor is yours.
Yes, sir. I would like to give a shout out to my manager, Steve Swedish with Ruby Sports. He's the reason I'm in this fight. So all the credit to him. All my training partners, National MMA. My training partner, Dedrick Sanders, is on the same card with me. So it's big news for him too. Dustin Ortiz and head coach, Brian Tidwell, jiu-jitsu coach, Tim, our strength and conditioning coach. And then uh, my two sponsors for this fight, Nashville Sightworks and Compass Human Performance. So they're backing me for this fight, and my wife and my son, of course, because they have to deal with me training and not being as present as I usually am mentally, physically, all of that. So they're actually my number one shout out.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know you post a lot of pictures with them too, man. It's
Yeah,
good to see. It's good to see. Family affair, man. I'm sure.
yes, sir.
I'm sure everybody's excited. It's going to be a good night for you. So,
Yes,
well,
sir. Looking
thanks
forward
again,
to it.
Zach.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Ed.
Good luck to you.
Appreciate it.